My name is Paulina, with P as in purple. um, my whole name is Paulina Alejandra Mendoza Valdez because I'm Mexican. We all have really long names. um, I'm originally from Chihuahua, Mexico. That's 4 hours away from El Paso, Texas. And I moved to El Paso, Texas when I was 13 years old. But when I first moved, aside from leaving all of my friends and family behind, I remember I was extremely nervous about adapting to the new culture and language specifically, because we took some language lessons in Mexico, but I mean it was nothing to really get me by in school. To my surprise though, when I got to El Paso, I found out that a vast majority of the population was Spanish speakers, and especially a lot of people from Juarez, which is the city that's bordering El Paso directly. I remember that some of them were living in El Paso and some of them were living in Juarez, and they would cross the border every single morning. Every time they would talk about going back to Mexico and the United States, back and forth, I thought that they had the best of both worlds and also the worst of both worlds, because for me they were part of the US because that's where I would see them, but for them, well, some of them, they were part of Mexico because that's where they lived. But regardless, that made me realize how El Paso and Juarez are basically just one city. They, the people, they're the same. They're friendly. They are hospitable. They act as one city. But yeah, after 3 years of living in El Paso, I moved to San Diego, California, and it's a city bordering Tijuana. The people were very different. I mean, the community between those two cities, between San Diego and Tijuana was not as strong as El Paso and Juarez. You could definitely tell that they were different cities. I don't know if they were different countries though. They felt very much attuned to each other. And then after a while living there, I went back to El Paso, and I a little changed a little bit. I mean, as far as my perception, I didn't see much diversity in comparison with Tijuana. I'm sorry, with San Diego, because I think the fact that it was California and a much more, modern city, if that's what you want to call it, the people were more diverse. There was much more ethnicities there. And then I think it was about after a year, I moved to Brownsville, Texas, and that was interesting. There was barely any Americans. Everyone would speak Spanish, and I'm not sure that everyone could speak English. The two cities were entirely separated. I mean, as far from what I saw, because I didn't really make so many friendships there. But it was their mentality. It was more like Chihuahua's mentality, the place that I'm from. They were stuck to their roots. They saw their possibilities within the city. They couldn't see beyond that. I mean, I'm moving from a city to another, especially from Chihuahua to El Paso and then to El Paso to San Diego. I realized that everything I could do and wanted to do, I could do it anywhere, not just where my family was. And I'm not sure that people from Brownsville see that. After that, I came to San Marcos. That's the first time I felt like a minority. Still, the people from the border, though, like I said, they do get the best of both worlds, because they have the expectations to move out of their house and be independent, but still have that huge support system of having a really close family in case something goes wrong, or in case you just want to go back. You know, my mom, she keeps telling me that right after graduation I should go back to her place, but I don't want to. The way that the water influenced me, it helped me to open up my eyes to new horizons. It's a huge cliche, but it did. The way the water influenced me was to, you know, expand my vision about what I was expecting out of me, and still at the same time be aware that I'm still Mexican, that I'm still, you know, a daughter of my parents with their morals, and there's certain expectations that they have out of me, and those expectations are very much in tune with their culture, with their Mexican culture. And even though I don't agree with all of them, I am aware. But the US, or the border town, I should say, it helped me to choose which ones I want to follow and which ones I don't want to follow.